The disappearance. She didn't argue. She didn't explain. She just disappeared. One moment, everything felt right. The conversation flowed. She laughed. She replied fast. There was energy. There was momentum. And then suddenly, silence. You stare at your phone, replaying everything in your head. Wait. Everything was going well. So what changed? Most men never get that answer. So they do something worse. They repeat the same mistake. With her. With the next woman. And the next. And each time, the ending feels the same. Confusing. Quiet. Unfinished. That's where insight comes in. Not with surface-level excuses, but with the real reasons. The psychological triggers that quietly flip the switch in her mind and make her walk away without a word. And it usually starts with this. Reason 1, you came on too strong, too fast. It always begins with a spark. You meet her, maybe online, through friends or in person. The vibe is there. She's responding. She's engaged. You feel that rush building inside you. And without realizing it, you try to lock it in. That's where everything starts to fall apart. Insight once shared a moment that ended almost as quickly as it began. She met a man in a corporate setting. He was charming, confident enough. She agreed to a date. But within an hour, something shifted. He kept talking. About himself. His achievements. His future. Then suddenly, he was talking about their future. Marriage. Children. A business they would run together. A life already planned. Without her saying a word. She sat there quietly, listening to a story about her own life that she never agreed to. He didn't ask her thoughts. Didn't ask her desires. Didn't even pause. And in that moment, the attraction collapsed. But the real breaking point came later. Before the night ended, he insisted on following her home. Driving behind her. Watching where she lived, even after she clearly said no. That's when discomfort turned into fear. That was the first and last date. So what actually went wrong? It wasn't just what he said. It was how far ahead he was emotionally. They were strangers just a week ago. But he was already acting like she belonged in his life. And when that happens, something instinctive kicks in. She pulls back. Because attraction isn't just about liking someone. It's about discovery, curiosity, gradual investment. But when you come on too strong, there's nothing left to discover. No curiosity left to build. No space for her to invest emotionally. You gave everything, before she earned anything. So her mind shifts. Not do I like him? But, why is he already this invested? And that question rarely works in your favor. Because early overinvestment feels like something else. Neediness. Lack of options. Emotional impulsiveness. Or worse, inexperience. It doesn't matter if it's true. Perception controls attraction. Think about it. If someone you barely knew started acting like you were already important in their life, you might feel flattered for a moment. But right after that, you'd feel cautious. Maybe even uneasy. Maybe even like you need to step back. Fast. That's exactly what she felt. And once that feeling appears, the connection starts to break. So what do you do if you've already made this mistake? Most men panic. They text more. Explain more. Try to fix it. That only makes it worse. Insight is clear about this. You don't fix pressure with more pressure. You remove it. You pull back. Completely. Let the interaction breathe again. Let her feel the absence of that pressure. And if she comes back, you don't repeat the same mistake. You match her pace. You slow down. You let her move toward you. Because the goal isn't to make her like you instantly. It's to give her a reason. To keep coming back. Reason 2, you became predictable and forgettable. Here's the part most men don't expect. You can be a good guy, a smart guy, even an interesting guy, and still lose her. Not because of who you are, but because of how the interaction feels. Because boring doesn't mean you are boring. It means the experience of talking to you feels flat. And attraction doesn't grow from potential. It grows from emotional experience. Most conversations fall into the same pattern. You ask about her day. She answers. You respond politely. Then ask another safe question. On the surface, it looks fine. But underneath, it feels like an interview. There's no tension, no surprise, no emotional spike. And without emotional variation, the brain loses interest. Attraction needs movement, moments of humor, curiosity, a little unpredictability, even light challenge. Without that, she categorizes you quickly. Nice guy. Easy to talk to. But nothing exciting. And once you're in that box, it's hard to get out. Because while you're being safe, someone else isn't. Someone else is making her laugh unexpectedly, saying something bold, creating tension. And without realizing it, you're losing. In comparison. Not because you're worse, but because you're forgettable. The signs are always there. Her replies get shorter. She stops asking questions. You carry the conversation alone. You start thinking harder about what to say, while she invests less and less. That's the moment everything is already slipping. So what do? You don't chase harder. You reset. Break the pattern completely. Pause. Step back. And when you return, shift the energy. Say something different. Something playful. Something that interrupts the routine. Because not every conversation can be saved. And trying to revive something that already feels dead only makes you look like you're chasing attention. And that destroys respect instantly. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. Women don't disappear because they hate you. They disappear because they feel nothing. And once the interaction becomes routine instead of an experience, the ending is already written. She doesn't argue. She doesn't explain. She just disappears. The real game behind the silence. By now, you felt it. The shift. The silence. The slow disappearance that never comes with an explanation. And the truth is, it doesn't stop at what you did. Sometimes, it's what you communicated, without even realizing it. Reason 3, you gave off low value. Without knowing it. Let's make this clear. Low value doesn't mean you're broke. It doesn't mean you're unattractive. It doesn't even mean you don't have your life together. It means something much quieter. And much more powerful. Your behavior made it look like you lacked self-respect, boundaries, or emotional control. And that's what she reacts to first. You could have everything on paper, money, status, ambition, but if your behavior feels uncertain, overly eager, or approval-seeking, that's what she sees. That's what she feels. And attraction responds to how you carry yourself, not what you claim to be. At the core of it, there's one hidden mistake. You were trying to be chosen, instead of being selective. So without noticing, you started adjusting yourself. Filtering what you say. Playing it safe. Avoiding anything that might risk rejection. But here's the twist. That behavior creates the exact outcome you were trying to avoid. Rejection. Through silence. Because what you're really saying is, I hope you like me. Instead of, I'm deciding if you fit into my life. And the moment that shift happens, the dynamic breaks. So what do most men do when they feel her pulling away? They try to explain themselves. Prove their worth. Show her who they really are. It never works. Because value isn't something you explain. It's something you demonstrate. And once you've shown low-value signals, you can't talk your way out of it. So the only move left? Stop. Stop over-communicating. Stop trying to fix it. Stop chasing the response. Give her space. And more importantly, change your behavior moving forward. Because real high value isn't arrogance. It's calm certainty. It's being grounded. And most importantly, being okay with losing her if she's not aligned with you. That's the shift. The moment you stop asking, how do I get her to like me? And start asking, Does this even deserve my energy? Everything changes. Reason 4. She found a stronger emotional experience. This is the part most men avoid. You were never the only option. You were one of many. And somewhere, someone else created a stronger emotional pull than you did. That's it. No announcement. No comparison speech. No warning. Just a quiet shift of attention. While you were texting her, she might have been laughing with someone else. While you were thinking of what to say next, someone else already set a date. While you were playing it safe, someone else created tension. And her mind didn't sit there comparing you side by side. It simply moved toward what felt stronger. Because attention follows emotion. Always. The interaction that feels the most alive wins. The rest? Fade out. Most men get stuck here. They start asking, what does he have that I don't? Why did she choose him? But those questions trap you. They make you reactive. They put her in control, and you in competition. And that's the worst place to operate from. The better question is, what kind of experience was I creating? Because that's the only thing you control. So what do you do when she shifts her attention? You don't compete. You step back. Completely. And when you stop feeding her attention, two things happen. She either continues with the other option, or she comes back. And if she does come back, don't make the mistake most men make. Don't reward it with instant full attention. Slow it down. Match her effort. Because your goal is no longer to win her back. It's to become hard to replace. Reason 5. You failed to move things forward. This one hurts. Because it feels like nothing went wrong. She was replying. She was engaging. There was chemistry. Days passed. Maybe weeks. And then, she vanished. So what happened? You didn't do something wrong. You just didn't do what was needed. You didn't move things forward. Attraction needs progression. From matching, to texting, to calling, to meeting, to something deeper. But if you stay stuck in one stage, especially texting, something dangerous happens. The energy fades. Because texting is easy. It requires almost nothing from her. No real investment. No real commitment. So she can stay there, without ever truly choosing you. And the longer you stay in that space, the more you become part of her routine. Not something she looks forward to. Just something that's there. Until it's not. Most men hesitate here because of one fear. Rejection. You don't want to ask too soon. You don't want to ruin it. But here's the truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. And while you're waiting, attraction is quietly declining. So what should you have done? You introduce direction. You stop the endless small talk, and lead. Something simple. We've been talking for a bit. Let's meet. Are you free this week? That one move changes everything. It creates clarity. It shows intent. It separates you from everyone just lingering. She either steps forward, or she doesn't. But either way, you're no longer stuck. And if she's already gone, you get one clean chance. One message with direction. No chasing. No multiple follow-ups. Because repeated attempts don't build attraction. They destroy respect. Reason 6. She was never that interested. This is the hardest truth. Sometimes, you didn't mess up. She just wasn't that interested from the beginning. And if you don't understand this, you'll waste time trying to fix something that was never yours to fix. Low interest is quiet. It doesn't always look like rejection. Sometimes, it looks like just enough. She replies. She engages a little. She stays in the conversation. But there's a difference between participation and investment. Participation is easy. It costs her nothing. Investment requires effort, curiosity, intent. And when her interest is low, she never crosses that line. So why doesn't she just say it? Because people avoid discomfort. Ghosting is easier than explaining. It's not respectful. But it's common. Think about it. Have you ever replied to someone just to be polite? Even though you weren't excited? That's the exact energy she was giving you. And if someone keeps trying to pull more out of you in that state, eventually, you disengage. Silently. That's ghosting. The signs were always there. They were just quiet. So what's your move? Simple. You stop investing. You redirect your energy. Because the moment you stop overinvesting in low-interest situations, two things happen. You protect your self-respect. And you create space for something better. Walking away early isn't losing. It's filtering. It's choosing not to invest in situations that don't meet your standard. And in the end, that's the real shift. You stop chasing clarity. You stop chasing validation. And you start becoming the kind of man who doesn't get lost in silence. Because you understand it. And once you understand it, you're no longer reacting to the game. You're controlling your position in it.